Today on Cool Tools, I want to share with you the ultimate companion to your iron and your pressing surface. I had the pleasure of meeting Chris Hanson at the Houston Quilt Festival. Chris is the owner and designer and wood craftsman at Modern American Vintage. You can find Modern American Vintage on Instagram and on his website, so I'm going to put links to both of those things below. But I can tell you, I have been literally drooling over his wooden quilting tools since I spied them on Instagram. So of course, while I was in his booth, I did pick up a new clapper. And I just want to show it to you here. I picked out a relatively small one. He has them in all shapes and sizes. He has quilting clappers. He has quilt block clappers that are bigger. And then he has a variety of other wooden tools for creasing and point turning and all of these other things. It was very hard for me not to walk away with like one of everything. There's a couple things about his clappers that make them elevated and so nice to use. First of all, he crafts each one from hardwood or hardwoods. For example, the one I picked out has an old growth curly redwood top on top of a curly maple base. The grain on this wood is gorgeous. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, when I picked this one up, I was shocked at how heavy it was. I wish you could feel it through your screen. Come to find out, he weights them to make them easier to use when you're trying to create a nice press seam or a crease. I really feel like this would be the most amazing gift for yourself or someone special on your sewing friend Christmas list. I absolutely love this clapper. I've been using it since I got home with it from Houston, and it works really, really well. So before I show you how to use this beautiful clapper, let's take a peek inside his booth at what else he had. You can see here he has a wide range of clappers that are both decorative and functional in many different sizes. He pieces together different quilt motifs or American flags or different other things to make them truly special. Each one is a work of art. And if you like getting something special that no one else has, pick out one of these clappers because each one is a little bit different. His tools can be purchased individually or in sets. You can see here's an example of some individual tools. He has this cool thing called a combo tool, which you can use as a point turner and a crease maker. He has wooden handled seam rippers, and then you can buy things in sets as well. For example, here's a set of 3 tools. One of the fun things for me was to look at each thing and read what kind of wood it was made out of. I didn't even realize there were that many different kinds of hardwoods that you could work with. They are all beautiful. Let me show you why this clapper is so amazing. It's beautiful, but remember I said it's weighted, so it's heavy. And I'm going to show you how to do a faux flat-felled seam. So not a real flat-felled seam, but I'm starting a jean sew-along, and I'm going to be using this clapper to help me get really good press seams for the flat-felled seam between the bottom of the back yoke and the top of the back leg. So I've sewn together 2 pieces of my heavy denim here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to press my seam open and give it some steam. Now, why do I need a clapper if I can use my iron? Well, what a clapper does is, once you steam it, you put the clapper on top and it traps the heat, and you can press down without having to press the hard surface or the heated surface of the sole plate of the iron down. This is really helpful for fabrics that you don't want to press down with your iron. So notice I press that down, and I just want you to notice here, see how flat this is? And then you can see here where I wasn't pressing down, it's not quite as flat. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give my seam allowances some more steam, and I'm going to press them down. And again, I'm going to hold the clapper pressed down on my seam allowances just for, 10-15 seconds. Look at how nice and flat that is. That is super flat. All right, so now here comes the part where I really need the help. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut my lower seam allowance down to 1/4, like that. And then I'm going to press the top edge of my top seam allowance under 1/4. And you can see, you'll be able to see in a minute why a clapper is so important when you're doing this kind of work. Okay, so I've got it, I pressed it, but notice it's not laying flat. Now I'm going to trap the steam in the heat, and I'm going to press with the clapper. Wait for it. There's going to be some magic happening. Look at how nice and flat that is now. Okay, and then the final step is I'm going to fold the whole thing down to encase or cover the shorter lower seam allowance here. So I'm going to give it some nice steam. And then I'm going to trap the heat with my new modern American vintage clapper. All right, so I'm giving it I gave it some steam, and I'm just holding it here for a couple seconds. Look at how nice and flat that is. Now, I just want you to notice over here, I mean, I was ironing, so I could iron this side flat as well, but I can tell you that the part or the section that I did the clapper, that I used the clapper, is staying flatter and more creased. So look at the beautiful results you get. And this is a very heavy flannel lined denim that I'm going to be using. The fact that I could get this nice creased edge is going to make it easier for me to sew it accurately and get a really professional result. All right, so you can see that that does a beautiful job. The fact that it's weighted is going to make lighter work for your hands and how much you have to press. I think this clapper is amazing and it's beautiful. So this is like my new best friend for my iron and my pressing surface. I'm putting links to Modern American Vintage Instagram and modernamericanvintage.com so you can go check out what they have. And the fun thing is, if you go check them out and you don't see exactly what you're looking for, he's always doing new collections. He does collaborations with sewers and quilters, so you'll always be able to find that perfect piece to add to your tool collection. I hope you enjoyed the special cool tools. If you are enjoying my content, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel because it helps me grow. Thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.